Welcome to the Literature Lounge, where writers and authors share their stories behind their stories.
Book marketing is storytelling about the book even before the readers open the book. Visibility and connection. Build your audience. Start talking about your book early, as soon as you even perhaps start just planning it, leave alone writing. Behind the scenes, writing struggles, everything. This will also help you grow your email list. Email list data is like a gold mine in today's time. I hate it when authors spam their Amazon link everywhere, and that's actually a technical big mistake that authors make. It can actually impact your Amazon ranking. Instagram is perfect for fiction. LinkedIn is ideal for non-fiction, business, and self-help books. Twitter, as it's now known as X, it's good for engagement in terms of witty and fast communications. The writing community and the reading community is very active. It is also good for niche communities, especially if you've written sci-fi, you've written thriller, you've written mysteries, or you have written fantasy. For them, X is brilliant.
Hi, we have a very interesting episode today with us that every author, aspiring, or published needs to hear. Joining us today is Namrata, someone who wears many hats: editor, book marketeer, literary consultant, podcaster. She's the founder of Keemiya Creatives and Bookbots India, two trailblazing initiatives that are reshaping how South Asian literature is published and marketed. Namrata also hosts the Bookbot Theory podcast and serves as the editor of Kitab, a Singapore based South Asian literary magazine. A published author and director of a leading literary festival in India, Namrata brings a wealth of experience in editing, book marketing, and author branding to the table. And I think this is what all authors are dying to hear, Namrata. Welcome to today's show.
Thank you so much, Mohua. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you. It's an absolute honor to have you here because I think most authors are so confused as to what is it that they can do with their book once. How do you go about this entire publishing business? So book marketing is often misunderstood. So many think it's just social media posts. Let's start by knowing what book marketing is all about. आपके लफ्जों में क्या है वो?
So, as you rightly said, it's actually one of the most misunderstood things ever. So, if I were to put it in very simple terms, book marketing is storytelling about the book even before the readers open the book. So, it's the art of making someone want to read your book even before they know what is there inside, and then they should feel the need to read that book. And you know what's one of the biggest confusion that people have is that book marketing is equal to book promotions. But the best thing, and theoretically it is, that they are not the same. Marketing is like the whole strategy. It's like planning a wedding, and promotions are like the cake and the music that actually make people attend the wedding.
That's really, really wonderful. So can you bust some common myths, what isn't book marketing?
Okay, I'll answer the second one first, that book marketing is not shouting buy my book. It's about crafting a journey that makes readers excited enough to grab it.
Mhm.
And some of the most common myths are that just posting buy my book is not marketing. That's just announcements. You are just announcing it to the world that your book is out there and they should buy. I need to know why I should. The second myth that would be is a great book sells itself. Unfortunately, in today's times when everything is there, the screens are literally into our faces. So when we
Absolutely.
spend so much time on our phones, books don't sell themselves. And lastly, of course, people think that, ads are very costly, ads do not work, or one or two ads are fine. I should not be tom-tomming so much. No, that's not how it works. Marketing is a long run, it's a marathon. And, ads are like that one element that will help you reach so many people that's just beyond imagination.
So, you often say that book marketing isn't a launch week activity. So, can you elaborate on what a sustainable marketing strategy looks like for authors? I think many authors would be dying to know this, because often you come out with I have done this. Like, I've written a book and then I've gone out and I've launched it in a few cities and I've forgotten about it because,
Yeah.
you've put your heart and soul in it. But then there are days you will wake up and you start feeling sad कि क्या हो रहा है किताब का, कहाँ पे लोग किसके पास पहुंचे, because the whole idea about writing a book is to reach more people, for
True.
more people to read the book. So tell me a little bit about that.
The thumb rule that I would ask authors to get inspired from is definitely movie trailers. You see movies, come out years, and this time we are seeing like movies which are getting released in 2026. We already know in 24 that so and so movie is coming out. We have a
True.
poster, we have a theme. We know that, okay, my favorite star is doing this kind of a movie. And then they keep dropping hints. They keep taking us to the location. They keep telling us that, you can expect a dance, or so and so action stunt master is coming from Hollywood. So all this is like a teaser. So this is how you should approach your book. So when you start working, tell the reader, are you working on a murder mystery? How did you get inspired? Show snippets, maybe a news article that triggered you. Just post it on your social media. Seek their advice. The moment you make readers involved in your book from the word go, they enjoy that. That okay, now I am writing. Now I have reached a writing, I've read writing block where I'm just not able to think about it. What do you think I should be doing? And then when the book is, you're pitching the book, and when the book is about to get released, this entire journey ensures by the time your book is ready to release, you have a team. You literally have a team of cheerleaders who have known you, who have seen your journey, and
Yeah.
who will now actually, go out and buy that book, and also tell 10 other people to buy that book.
Yeah, what are the most targeted actions, an author should take when they begin marketing their book even before it's published?
Only two keywords here: visibility and connection. First, as I said, build your audience. Start talking about your book early, as soon as you even perhaps start just planning it, leave alone writing. Behind the scenes, writing struggles, everything. This will also help you grow your email list. Email list data is like a gold mine in today's time. And this personal gold mine is very, very, very useful. I say this because of also one more reason is that social media is not your platform. You could have a lot of followers there, but someday some country rules and they decide that they are banning, like we banned TikTok overnight. So what if that social media platform is not there? So you need to have a backup where you can market your book without relying on a third party app. And of
Okay.
course, lastly, you can line up lot of PR, lot of collaborations. You can keep talking about it even before the book is released, looking at its themes, reaching out to platforms that talk about those themes so that it makes you look like an expert about the book.
So tell me a little bit about the mistake that you see most often, authors keep going, making it time and again, while they are marketing their book. That would be very interesting, and I'm sure I would have made many of those mistakes. I would love to know from you, Namrata.
I want to share my pet peeve. I hate it when authors spam their Amazon link everywhere, and that's actually a technical big mistake that authors make. You should not be doing it. So, authors often think that if I just send my book link to everyone I know, the sales will skyrocket, but that's not how it works. Mass mailing is actually, it doesn't lead to anything. And moreover, if worse, it can actually impact your Amazon ranking, because now you suddenly have people who are not in that genre, who are not reading that genre, who are not interested in it, still clicking on that link. So it confuses Amazon algorithm completely. When it is supposed to show your book, which is a thriller perhaps, it will now end up showing it to everyone, and then of course it will not lead to sales. So you are confusing the algorithm there. This is my pet peeve, and I always tell people, please, please, please don't do this.
I
It's
have done
very
it.
exciting.
I've sent the Amazon link to everybody the minute I got the Amazon link. So I stand guilty here, Namrata. So anyway, so tell me a little bit about, talk about the different social platforms that most authors use, for different genres. So you have Instagram versus LinkedIn versus Twitter. Which one would you say that would be better?
Okay, Instagram is perfect for fiction, poetry, and books which are visually appealing, because Instagram is a visual platform. So they love stunning covers, they love quotes, they love behind the scenes, they love pictures, they love reels, they love videos a lot. LinkedIn is ideal for nonfiction, business, and self help books. You can share insights, you can share articles, you can network with professionals, and of course, all of this a lot of times leads to bulk buyers also for you if you get a lot of corporates interested in your book. Twitter, as it's now known as X, it's good for engagement in terms of witty and fast communications. The writing community and the reading community is very active. It is also good for niche communities, especially if you've written sci-fi, you've written thriller, you've written mysteries, or you have written fantasy. For them, X is brilliant. And as we don't have TikTok, though book talk is something that is very high in UK and US, but here we can definitely look at YouTube. A lot of reels, Instagram reels, and YouTube shorts are also a fun way to engage with readers.
So Now we need to talk about AI. Everybody's putting up posts on AI, Chat GPT, and then there's this new thing called Ghibli art, okay, that's come
Yeah.
up. So let's talk about how AI powered tools really can play in marketing today. And are there any tools that you would recommend to authors?
Oh, I recommend AI to a lot of authors, especially for book marketing, because it has completely changed the game. Like at least 2 3 years back, before AI, it was like the author was the single person who had to handle writing the book, marketing the book, and everything. With AI, you can actually take off that load. So it not only saves your time, it boosts your creativity, and it also helps authors market their books smarter without working too hard. So the first thing is, of course, Chat GPT. It has a lot of captions, hashtags, SEOs, keywords for your social media posts. It can help you craft engaging content. It can also help you ideate a lot of reels or posts or concepts on how to present something better. Canva, one of the most talked about designing app, which has actually given us a lot of freedom, compared to the previous apps that we used to use. So Canva also has a lot of AI tools now. You need a quick book promo graphic designed, you need a reel designed, everything is possible. So they have a magic design. They have an option called magic design, which can actually do that for you. Of course, the other apps include a CapCut, there is Descript. These are all for easy video editing, captions, repurposing content, in the term that you can actually just put your blog link there and you can ask them to convert it into a reel or a video. It just takes that short time. And within few minutes, you actually have an entire video ready based on your blog. So there are other for newsletters and all, which has ConvertKit, MailerLite. Then there is Publisher Rocket and Ubersuggest. They are very good for keywords, and they also are AI powered. Keywords and all help a lot in improving your visibility and ensuring that you reach the right audiences. So, but I'd like to clarify here that I'm not saying AI replaces creativity. AI
No,
cannot and it
cannot.
won't. But yes, it can supercharge your book marketing, and it's good to ideate, because like we all see that, this creative field that we are in, we are all isolated. We are not working as teams. We are working in our own rooms or offices or cafes, and we are a sole person teams, and also it helps to ideate, to, think.
100% it helps to ideate. Absolutely. So, Namrata, for authors with limited budgets where marketing services are not really an option. So, what would you say to them is one of the most important things to invest in first?
Uh, of course, apart from good editors and everything, the biggest thing that I would ask them to invest is a good cover design. That's what helps a book sell, because that's the first thing a person sees about your book. Then, of course, building your reader base through emails. So that means that you will have accumulated a lot of advanced ARCs, a lot of good reviews. And there is no shame in paying, and there is nothing wrong in paying for good reviews. You're compensating a person for their time. I'm not saying that you pay for them for positive reviews, but you pay them as a compensation for whatever review they give. The reviews have to be honest, but you get good quality reviews where people understand what your book is about, and that is the main effort there. And as I said before, ads. I am very pro ads. I always push authors to explore ads, and you can start for as low as 500 rupees, even 200, 300 rupees. You don't have to spend too much, because initially I understand that you have that apprehension about spending a lot on ads and not seeing results, because you don't know where to start with. You can start as low as 100, 200 rupees and see how it performs, what performs well, but ads can benefit a lot. And lastly, please, please, please consider investing in a very good website as an author. If you are considering writing more than one book, that is very, very important.
I am considering writing till my last breath, Namrata. So, obviously, you and me need to have a conversation post this podcast.
Definitely.
Yes. So you're also the founder of Keemiya Creatives which focuses on South Asian literature. What unique challenges do South Asian authors face in marketing their books?
See, in South Asia, it's a very unique problem that we have, which is that, India is one of the strongest countries amongst our neighbors. And when it comes to publishing and, reading as a culture, if you look at Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and all. But the challenge is that if their books are published here, they don't know how to market it, because they reach a dead end. So the biggest challenge is for them to grow beyond this bias. because we all have a lot of biases, and it has seen that initially publishers had biases. When publishers were open, readers had biases. And of course, there is limited industry support. And most importantly, when you're not present in the country where your book has released, it impacts a lot of in-person activities that you can do for marketing. So at Keemiya Creatives, we focus on tackling these challenges. We work with them in trying to help them understand whether their genre can actually sell in India. Though India, of course, has a very good readership, but you also have to see if that genre is saleable and then plan activities where it's beneficial for them, it's beneficial in terms of visibility, and there is some result that is there, evident.
Wonderful. So, what should authors really expect from publishers in terms of marketing and visibility? Because, you're really going into a tunnel, where it's so difficult, Often when you talk to authors, they're very disappointed, with the kind of coverage that they think that they should get, So, what is this whole balance that should come out?
This is the ugliest truth of publishing industries. Some of the biggest publishing houses do not do all the marketing for you. They all just do basic promotions, which includes press releases, a few social media posts, maybe a catalog feature. They reach out to their standard list of magazines if they agree to feature you, and that's how it works. The biggest plus of having a good publisher is getting good distributor support, which means your book reaches bookstores and perhaps some PR in terms of getting into LitFest, because they themselves are big names for them to open doors for you, or getting podcasts, big podcasts, being able to talk, be a part of panels, be invited to TED Talks, and all. So this is the basic that you can expect from publishers. But most of the heavy weightlifting, which is like engaging with readers, building a fan base, long-term marketing, or even trying to think out of the box ideas, is on the author. That's the fact. The more effort an author puts in, the bigger the impact.
Also, bookstores, I had gone into Bahari Sons in Delhi in Khan Market, and right at the back was like few copies of my book. I felt so sad because you spend like your entire like hours, days. You really, you shed blood when you're writing, especially a personal memoir. And it was like really at the back, and I was like, इसको सामने कर सकते हैं? He said, नहीं नहीं, अभी तो मनु पिल्लाई जी का किताब ज़्यादा बिक रहा है, and I'm taking the name, okay, and obviously, so I did not talk too much and I left it, and I'm sure there are many authors who feel
Yeah.
like this. So yeah.
Decisions by bookstores, Mohua, are actually driven by a lot of factors. So, like, what is your home turf? Which city are you based in? Where is it possible that people actually know Mohua enough to walk into a bookstore and say, "Arey, wo Mohua ki book hai kya aapke paas?" So that bookstores, they'll focus for your book more. They will try and get, the prominent entry pe jo bookshelves hai, wahan pe they'll try to get your books placed. Like for Amitav Ghosh in Kolkata, if you see, he'll get a more preference than maybe a Manu Pillai or maybe a Chetan Bhagat, because it's Amitav Ghosh. Kolkata connects with him on a different level. So these kind of very minor things, they play a role because they feel
Yeah.
that this is how they drive sales. That is how they feel that okay, this person will connect, this city will connect. That's so. I always tell authors when they ask me that we want to try bookstore stores, I always say, please, wherever you're working or wherever you're living, uske 5 kilometers radius में bookstore ढूंढिए and try and get your book stock there. Somebody from your workplace can visit there. They know you. They will see that book and they'll pick you up. So that's where it starts. And so when they see the sales that, okay, this particular bookstore is selling, they'll be encouraged to look at that entire city and push it to more stores.
So tell me a little bit, being the director of a leading literary festival, you must be getting tons of inquiries. So how does an author get invited to speak or be on the panel, of the literary fest? I'm asking for myself also.
So I'll let you on a secret here. Okay. You don't wait for an invite, you position yourself as one. So it might seem like the Lit Fest is happening in, say, April. We are in April, so it's happening in April 2025. But everything is planned and decided by the time the social media announcements are made. So, we start working on it like 6 months in advance. And even that, before that, we have already started noting people, noticing them for what they are doing, authors, books, publishers, everything. So as a festival director or as organizers, the entire team that worked, they already have lists. So the first meeting that we had was perhaps in September or August end, if I'm not wrong for this one. And since then, we have just been, we have a Google Doc, we are tracking, we are putting on the sheets, we are trying to look at, okay, this is the topic that we want, this is the panel that we want, this person looks interesting. Did you see this post? Did you read that article by that person? So you have to position yourself as one. When you position yourself as a person who can talk at lit fests, who can actually get us good footfalls, because that's what matters to all the sponsors. Even for a digital lit fest, digital footfall is also important. And need to have a very, very strong author brand. I know you might say that, what if I'm a debut author? And that's absolutely fine, you can be a debut author, but does your social media tell me that you are a good talker, or can engage people, or you have a expertise in a certain topic where you can add a lot of value if you are invited to that panel? That's how it makes it very important, and so that's the trick here, that they want engaging speakers and not just authors. So you
Okay.
need to bring your unique voice to the table.
To have that, capability to also engage with the audience. So let's just talk a little bit about the magazine that you edit called Kitab. What makes a submission stand out, and what do editors really look out for?
See, every magazine has a different perspective, different theme, different tone that they want, and every editor is unique in their submissions. I can speak for Kitab because it's been 5 years. This tomorrow I complete exactly 5 years, and so one of
Congratulations.
oh, thank you. So the thumb rule that we followed was that we were very clear since beginning. We will not look at writers' credentials when we were going to accept pitches for Kitab, because you could be completely unpublished, you might not have an MFA or anything, but you could be writing really well. And we were open to those ideas. So, what we look for is a strong, unique voice. Tell a story only you can tell, a powerful opening. So, of course, editors read a lot. If the first few lines don't hook us, chances are perhaps it's just a no from us. A clean, polished work, because we do not clean grammar, we do not find typos, we do not do all that. We look at the larger structure of the story or the essay that you've said. And of course, an understanding of the magazine is very important. This is something I always tell people, even when I host workshops on how to pitch to magazines, is that read that magazine before pitching your work. Do you even fit there? Do you sit there? Do you actually write in the genres or the categories or the type of writing that they publish? Because otherwise, it's you're trying, it's a mismatch, you're obviously going to get a rejection.
So, lots of children today want to become authors, and everybody wants to become an author. It's really interesting. Everyone has a book inside them. So, what do you think that many aspiring authors may be doing wrong? Because everybody cannot become, Amitabh Ghosh or Jhumpa Lahiri, or for that matter, Chetan Bhagat also. How successful he's been in all his. I think most of his books have turned into films, right?
Yeah, yeah, most of them,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, and so yeah, I mean, what is it that authors can do, and aspiring authors especially?
In my observation, I feel that a lot of them are chasing fame instead of mastering the craft.
Yeah,
So, many new authors are focusing on being the writer rather than trying to become one. They just rush to publish without even editing. Like, I edit also, and I have authors reach out. I spent 4 years on this book. Can you just edit it in 4 weeks? That's unfair. You spent 4 years. You need to be patient. That's an art that you've put so much of love on that. They don't have patience. They try self-publishing because they don't have patience for traditional publishing. They don't want to wait for 1.5 year, 2 years to get that. And the worst thing is, unfortunately, a lot of aspiring authors do not even read. So if you're not reading, how will you understand storytelling? How will you
yeah,
understand pacing? What works for a reader? What works in a book? What doesn't work? How do you, so it's not about just ideas, you see, Mahua. It's about how you execute. Like, even best-selling authors were not bestsellers on day one. So it was
absolutely.
consistency, it was patience and willingness to improve. Like, even you, Mahua, I've seen you attending a lot of writing workshops after all the books that you've written, after all the work. See, we are constantly working on the art,
Yes,
and that's where it is, that you have to focus on the craft first. Books happen, bestsellers happen, but this is what you
absolutely.
do.
Yeah, I agree with you. And you know what? It's a constant churn. You cannot stop. And the day you stop, you will become redundant. I feel I am always frightened. So I always love attending workshops because I think every workshop I've come back with something new that I have learned. And meeting more people who are also aspiring writers
Yes.
or authors, their journey, you kind of feel seen and heard because, like you rightly said, Namrata, that it's a very solo and solitary work that you actually do. And I think most people around my house kind of don't even understand as to what I do. So they're very okay to open the door when I'm writing or to offer me a cup
Yeah.
of tea. But so this is where we are. Thank you so much. This has been an absolute pleasure to have you on the podcast. And thank you and wish you all the best. And thank you for taking
Thank
out
you
the
so
time today
much.
to
It
be
was
here.
wonderful talking to you, and it was just great going through this conversation, discussing the questions that are so close. So thank you for this opportunity, Mohua.
Thank you, Namrata.